Welcome to our Spoken English and Smart Classes. Learn English swiftly. You are watching ESCSC Podcast with our Aditamus stars and our global teacher. I'm Dr. Madhvi.
I am Nikita Chandel.
I am Arbina Tako.
And I am Dr.
And
Ash.
and we are with our amazing personality today. We could say, let me give you the introduction to Jessica Ashe, ma'am. She has done EDD MBA, currently serves as Assistant Director in Social Entrepreneurship at Farmer School of Business within Miami University in Ohio. So today you just feel that we are in the same place. She believes that by flipping corporate priorities, we can solve our current social and economic problem. You want to know more? Just to stay tuned up with us because my shining stars are going to ask many questions to her because they are curious from last 1 week. First of all, I would like to ask ma'am, you are here in India's podcast first time, I think, because I have seen you have attended many webinars till now. But podcast show, I think it is like we are the one we have initiated in our educator zone. So in this zone, how are you feeling, ma'am? Over to you, respected ma'am.
I'm so excited to be here. So thank you, Madhvi, for the invitation. And I'm excited to work with your Shining Star students. And I want to say I have great respect for all of the non-native English speakers out there because they are speaking more than one language every day of their lives. And that means that they have trained themselves to be very smart and adaptable. So I'm super excited to talk with you guys.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And let me tell you that in India, when it comes to India, it's our second official language, English. So, well, still, we are trying hard to connect with all of you. And this is something I believe that today we are so honored and so fortunate to connect with you, ma'am. In our today's program, we will be finding out how to enhance our personality, like our respected ma'am, and how to be fluent in English enough, as well as our celebrity itself. Like we are going to get inspiration and motivation also by her with her career progress. So before starting, like as you know, because personality enhancement is a continuous journey, so it will keep going with us. But I have a many questions, but ma'am will keep connecting with me. As my curious stars are still waiting, like let us give the chance, ma'am, first of all. So let me give first over to you, Nikita, ma'am.
So, Honorable Ma'am, as a director of a farmer school of business, what advice you would like to give to the young generation who are still struggling with their career?
Thank you for the question, Nikita. And just for the record, I'm an assistant director, not the director.
Oh, my bad. Soon
No,
you
no,
will be.
it's okay. I just wanted to make the record straight. So I would say that your success in your career has less to do with your major, and it has more to do with soft skills that we acquire. So active listening is a skill that you can practice that enhances your career options. Um, Basic skills like being results oriented will help you progress in your career. And what that means is if your boss tells you to do something, you don't just send an email. If your boss says, "Did you do that?" Well, I sent an email. Well, did you get a result? No. Like you have to get to the result. And so there are all these kinds of things that are of soft skills that are more important than what your major was. And I'm happy to talk about more of those if we want to go in detail some other day.
Well,
Wow,
thank you
ma'am.
for answering my question, ma'am. It's really motivating, and you have given me the best advice as you could.
And one other component that I think is worth mentioning today is conflict is natural from communication, and um, we don't have to pretend conflict's not there, and we don't have to push it away all the time. It is often these divergent thoughts that in the end create a better product. So I encourage you also to learn conflict mitigation strategies and conflict resolution strategies. Basically, learning to work through conflict productively. And that helps you in your personal life and in your professional life.
Ma'am,
Well,
the impactful, the way you served it, catalyze actions. I could say that instead of my shining star, I would have asked my employees to join today. They would have got, but I'm going to share this link because this is something so captivating. Yes, Arvina, my dear. Yeah.
Yeah, first of all, I want to thank the ma'am for being here today. And we wonder if you could tell us how did you start your experience serving as assistant director in social entrepreneurship at Farmer School of Business within Miami University in Ohio?
Thank you for the question, Arvina. And you have a beautiful name, by the way.
Thank you.
So from 2015, I was in the intensive English language program on Miami University Regionals. And when COVID started, I decided that youth around the world needed to be inspired to continue their education despite the chaos and all of the fear. So in COVID, at 6 a.m., I was teaching in China, at 7 a.m., Iraq, at 8 a.m., Myanmar, 9 a.m., Algeria, just around the globe all day, working with youth, helping them stay out of the zone of concern. These are things you worry about, like pandemics, and to focus instead on their locus of control. These are things that you are influence, things that you can impact in some way. And when you stay in that zone of influence, then your fear level goes down. So that was kind of the beginning, although it wasn't really the beginning of my own personal social entrepreneurship journey. But that was a big kickstart, and I continued to do community service around the world, working with youth in many countries on different projects. And over time, people within the university kept telling me, you need to go to this department. And I was like, it's in the business school. The business school doesn't want me. And people kept saying it. And then this job came open, and a trusted advisor within the university said, do you not know that this job has been posted for you? You're the only one that can this is your job. Will you go apply? I was like, okay. So I applied and I got it. I still didn't understand why it was in the business school. But and there's a fly that's having its heyday while I'm talking, sorry. So when I started working there, I realized that social entrepreneurship is the creation of social value and economic value. And so our specific cohort of researchers are the top in the world in terms of returning business to its core value, which at the very beginning, what business was there was a problem in a community, and somebody used their creative problem solving skills to solve it. And that lifts entire communities. So business is intended to lift entire communities, and it's the role of social entrepreneurship within the university to try to help return business to that core value. Does that answer your question, Arvina?
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Ma'am, you really connected to me because when it was COVID, we educators were, means we were, I think, we were, COVID was an opportunity for us. The way we have taught, because it was for me also, got many of the students, and from morning to evening, I was continuously teaching. The exactly, and the way you expressed this whole scenario means you really engaged us. I could say in the personal level, means because it was truly commendable. Uh, it was fostering a sense of connection, because I was reminding that that was happened and this is how, and we are juniors for ma'am, that the we are learning, and we are exactly we are following the path with a sense of connection that making feel included. That yeah, we are connected with this thing. Wonderful. Nikita, do you have any other questions still to ask, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, I do have.
Yeah.
Uh, Respected ma'am, may we know the key of successful business according to you?
The what of successful business?
The key for a successful business. Any um,
I think, ma'am, Nikita, my shining star, wants to run a business in future. So she
well, that
wants
would
some
be
tips
great.
for running a successful business.
So, well, there are many components to that, but I'll start with an example of my husband's business. And I know it may be harder to understand and to connect with, but in the United States, we love our pets, our dogs. It may not be such a big thing in India, but this is a very prominent business in the United States. And so our pets here, we brush their teeth, we bathe them, like they sleep in our beds. Anyway, so they're like a part of the family. And my husband had a large dog years ago, and he went out of town one day and he took his dog to a kennel and they put his dog in a cage. And he thought, I don't like that at all. And I'm going to start a different business. So the first point is to find the hole in the market. And it may have nothing to do with animals for you guys, but he realized that there were a lot of people who loved their dogs so much and didn't want them in a cage. So he started his business. It's called Four Paws Pet Care and Kennel. And the whole premise is that the dogs play all day. And we divide them up by temperament and size, and they play in different areas. And we have professional handlers in each area. And when the owners pick the dogs up, the dogs don't want to go home. They've had so much fun. And so it's a very successful business because, well, first of all, he found the hole in the market. Then for the first 3 years, he didn't take a salary. He was financially prepared to do that, but it was a lot of hard work, many long hours. So don't expect to start a business and then not work a lot. And so he literally went 3 years with no income. Um, Business owners get paid last. They have to pay their employees first and all their bills. But ever since that third year, he started taking a salary from his own business, and now his workload has been reduced drastically. It's a very successful business. He knows how to run the financials and the marketing, and he'll come home every day and say, well, on this day, June 16th in 2022, we're up 50% from last year. And, so every day he's running his numbers to see if he needs to adapt anything or change anything. And another component that's inherent in there that I may not have highlighted is that he loves what he does and he provides a valuable service for the community. So, like if one of our clients comes in and their eyes are this big and they're running and they say, "Oh, my wife is expecting," we'll say, "You go do that. Well, we're not going to charge you for tonight or the next night. You go deal with your situation, and we're here to love your dog." And so we really are a service to the community, and my husband loves what he does. So I would say that it's important for you to really find deeper meaning in whatever business you want to start, Nikita. And do you have an idea of what kind of business you may want to start?
Right now, I don't have any idea. In future, if I find any compassion, so I will definitely think the way as you share, and I would definitely love that job, love to do that job in future.
Wonderful. Well, I'll help you find your passion then. Just message me and I'll help you on your path.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks for sharing with me.
My pleasure, Nikita.
So, indelible way the way you express it's like it is inspiring. My shining star, not only even me, and I believe our audience are also going to get inspired. and aspire for the greatness, embrace continuous learning, and strive for the positive change which you have given. That humanitarian. This is something a great humanitarian work, and this is what I feel that when I was reading that social service which you go through, now we have really understood that how positive aura this, and you personal and professional endeavors you have brought it. So salute for that, that humanitarian and generosity which you have. And absolutely, when it comes to, like, even in India, I don't know, means, but for me, like, I'm a pure vegetarian personality. And when it comes to us, we really love all animals. Means we feel that they are the creator. Actually, if it's not about the cage only, even though we should not kill them and not even trouble them, because they are also, and the way you are giving the care, and now it's a modern society, they are doing it. So and dogs are seriously so most favorite are always for us, because the honest they are, the well they get trained. And when it comes to my shining stuff, for the sarcasm, I always say, at least try to be better than dogs. So so they are like, ma'am.
That's funny.
So I just always ask that, yeah, okay, so you should get trained and obedient and also. So that last, okay, they were like, okay, ma'am. So it was just a little sarcasm, idiomatic way, metaphorically, I just say to them. Wow, means we are literally enjoying, ma'am. I don't know when I'm going to leave you today, because
I'm having a great time too.
but the connection, the approachability which we are getting from your speech, it is completely welcoming atmosphere. It is encouraging us to ask you the question for the fostering that, the meaningful interactions which we are having. Arbina, my dear, my shining star, are you going to ask some another question to ma'am? Any other which is clicking in your mind? Not yet. Okay, so she's content then. Okay, Narmina is satisfied with till now, and Nikita is still content, I believe. Okay, so ma'am, now it's over to you. Is there any suggestion? Like, you are an educator, so is there any suggestion from your side that to our parents, those students, as well as teachers and educators, that how all of them, because when it comes to students nowadays, people feel like that students are like, they need to do a lot of hard work, they have to go vigorously for all this stuff, but no, there's a huge responsibility for teachers as well as their parents too, not only to for asking them to study, but moreover, engaging their body and mind together. Like, if I in future I'll be having my genius junior, so I am going to teach him, as I teach my student, as to, oh, like, with the actions and everything, I'll just involve with him. So how do you think that how these three are connected together, and how they should, make that environment uh, to get like, that person, like, our kid, our new generation, to be more knowledgeable?
That's a very timely question, Madhvi. And I'll start by saying that before my first child was born, I wrote a mission statement. And actually, I wrote an article on it that's available in Inspirations for Better Living magazine that is free this summer with a special code. So you can read that. I'll put it on the link down below after we're done here. But the point is, I wrote a mission statement that said, and now this is for parents, I raise mentally, physically, and emotionally healthy children to become productive, well adapted adults. And those components of that mission drove my actions. And all of this is in line with the idea of you have values based goal achievement. So every day, let me see, I raise physically healthy children. So we would get up and eat healthy breakfast with protein and vegetables or fruits. And then we would go to the park to exercise. And when their physical energy was spent, let me see, after physically became mentally, then we would do little age appropriate games, whether that's putting M&Ms on a board so that they can count the different colors, whatever it was at the right age. And then we would read and snuggle before nap time. And that's a lot of emotional nurturing, because that snuggling, you can't replace the snuggles with your mom. And that also puts positive money in the relationship bank account. I didn't want to be that mom that was always, don't do that, don't do that. And so, and then, after nap time, they would eat a healthy lunch that I would inspire them, like a hot dog. I would cut it up, except for the end. And when it cooked, it looked like an octopus. And I would put the octopus in an ocean with grapes as rocks, and, and ketchup is the ocean. And then we would back off to the park, back for physical, mental, and emotional health, again and again. So that's for parents. And it may sound really just overly optimistic. There were hard times, and I did go through a divorce. So it wasn't always possible, but that mission did guide me for many, many years. And for the educators, I would say it's more important for the students to do it than you. And if we're on a show about spoken English, so I can say that the students need to speak, not the teacher. I know how to speak English. My students need to practice. So research has demonstrated that student-based learning or student-centered learning is the best. So if I was in a classroom, I would have Madhvi and Arvina speaking to each other about some topic. Let's say, why would you go to a coffee house? What's nice about going to a coffee house? And then they would speak to each other, so that lowers the affective filter. And then we would switch it up and do that again with another person. And no one learned to speak English by looking at a book and going, mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm. Practice the speaking, and don't be shy, be assertive. And especially to female teachers out there, many female teachers are trained to be passive, or their culture requires that they be compliant. And I've seen in many countries where that means that a teacher of English doesn't actually speak English in the classroom. So I encourage the administrators to empower the teachers that when they close that classroom door, they are speaking English. No one else, the other thing that no one else learned English by speaking Hindi, 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 and then kitchen, Hindi, 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 Hindi. Like you can't learn it that way. And so speak in English and empower your teachers to be in the native language or target language.
I'm on the right track, ma'am. My shining star might be thinking, yeah, my teacher, ma'am, we are teaching in the same manner. I believe that, I ask my students to talk a lot. And, that talking is also not that enough, that I'm asking them, let's connect with with our global educator and talk to them. So here
Yes.
they are here they are for gaining their confidence and trying out that, complex concept in easily understandable the way they are talking. And we do that, we make our institute sometimes a bank, sometimes a hospital, or
Yeah.
yeah. And let me tell you about this. If they speak any single word in Hindi while talking, so they get a punishment, and in that punishment they have to speak 100 times, I'll speak in English, I'll speak in English, I'll speak in English. And then I say that if after speaking 100 times, your soul will also speak in English. So, but though they are so superb, they just don't do that mistake. They understand it. Okay, this is quite tough things. And as it is, I've taught them all the tenses, like from simple to perfect continuous. I ask them that keep adding that different verbs. But when they speak in Hindi again, then even for the homework also it happens. And homework is just audio recording, video recording, no reading writing, because I believe that reading writing is enough in the schools there. They kept doing that, but when it comes to interaction, they are not doing that. But I should tell you, ma'am, my shining stars are literally, why I call them shining, because they are literally shining. They are literally shining. And almost they are toppers, and they are so confident in their skill. And we are like coming up with many of the programs and sessions, and recently they have got the ISRO certificates also. So many of the certificates they are getting it all because they are doing it. I would say, ma'am, you are seriously commendable. I don't want to leave you,
Well, it
but yeah,
sounds like you're doing all the great things. And I did have one other point, and that is, especially when speaking, we are beyond the era of worrying about grammar, especially in
exactly.
speaking. Now, if you write an academic paper, you can be more worried about your grammar, but really focus on, can we understand what you're trying to say? It's all about meaning. And if you convey your meaning, don't worry if you miss up the tense. We have too many tenses in English. Um,
Exactly.
yeah, so Madhvi's got great ideas for you guys. It sounds like she's doing an awesome job. And don't worry about your grammar. Just speak.
And
Well,
it
that's
will be
inspiring,
more
ma'am.
spectacular. It will be more spectacular, ma'am, if you keep joining, because I'm so sure now my rest of the students are going to feel so bad about it that they are not here, and they'll be like, we want to be in that same. So I believe that you promised them that they should also connect with you. It like so that they will also get that open perspective from you.
Yes.
What an infectious energy, I could say. My profound gratitude to you, ma'am. We are extremely gratified, though, like, with your infusing speech, and so resonated. And it's our compulsion that we have to leave this podcast after half an hour, but we are still grabbing you. Do not leave us. Keep connecting us every other week. And I wasn't actually means the personality we gone through. I'm telling you, my shining star. I'm talking to ma'am also first time. You might be thinking why ma'am is talking this time very fast, because I'm talking to her very first time, and it has never happened to my guests because I keep connecting and talking to them. And when I've seen you, I was literally feeling that yeah, you might be somebody who is so disciplined, so serious, but you know what, so practical, so inspired. Uh, when we were literally gonna implement the way you have came at that effortlessly, you have told you expertise. So I am expecting you again and again and again in our show.
It would be my pleasure.
So
And when you teach me Hindi, if I say any words in English, then you can teach me to
for sure,
say,
ma'am.
I want to speak Hindi in Hindi.
The better I am in English, I believe that I'm in Hindi though. I have written my book also. It is on Amazon, on Flipkart, with 100 poems in Hindi. So and almost 3,000 newspapers have covered me with my articles and poem in Hindi. And our content I'm going to write soon in Hindi, which is going to be in the Indian newspaper. For
Wonderful.
thanking you. So, thanks a lot, ma'am. Your presence is literally a captivating touch for us. We all are so fortunate to have you. Extremely gratified and eternal gratitude.
Thanks for having me. It's been really fun and great to meet Nikita and Arvina.
It's great connecting with you, ma'am.
Stay in touch.
For the last 10 years, TEDx speaker Dr. Madhvi Borsi Sinch Insa has been educating students. In the contemporary era, children used to entertain themselves with movie songs, but students under her are interested in learning, singing, and rapping educational songs. She has presented education in the best form, where anyone can do their studies happily without any stress. Her method of teaching is effective. According to the outcome, adults and senior citizens are also taking an interest in studies. She has described it as a way to develop an interest in education. She has been invited to various national and international webinars as an international guest speaker in which she has explained the easiest technique for studying. She is originally from India. She is also the professional online English coach, founder of Edutainment Spoken English Smart Classes, author, international speaker. If you need to speak with